Hey guys, Kristen with Remax here, your favorite realtor here in the Niagara region. So let's just talk quickly about what we're going to see heading into 2026 throughout the year. So I can honestly see it getting worse. It's not going to get better. Those 2020 COVID days are gone. Will we ever see those again in our lifetime? I don't think so. They're gone. Say goodbye. Welcome to the new market, the normal market. This is a more traditional market than what a lot of realtors are used to. Having been in the business for 15 years, this is how it was before COVID. Remember that time we had to do price reductions? Houses would sit on the market for 30, 60, 90, 120 days and expire and not sell. In today's market, we are in a pricing competition and a beauty war. And essentially what happens in today's market is that if you do have an offer in your hand, you really need to look at it very closely and say to yourself, is it worth the risk to lose this offer and not sell my house? Because what will happen is that if you don't work with this offer, whatever it is, always counter it back. It doesn't matter what it is. At the end of the day, you never want to be the one that walks away because you never know what your buyer is actually willing to pay. What happens in today's market, or what we're seeing, is that if you don't work with that offer that you have in your hand because you think, oh, you know what, I'm going to get $5,000 or $10,000 more come the spring, the summer, September, whatever it is, you let that offer walk away. That buyer buys your neighbor's property. You have gone and given your neighbor the golden gift, an offer that they've been waiting for. Let's also talk about interest rates. So we're sitting like 4 to 5%, kind of depends on your bank, your terms, and all that kind of stuff. Historically, interest rates have always sat between 4 and 6%. So them going back down to subprime lending 1, 2%, most likely are a thing of the past. It's not sustainable. We essentially never had a housing crisis. We had an investor issue because what was happening is every Tom, Dick, and Harry was getting on the real estate market, because in what market can you put your money that in a month or 2 or 3, you'd see $100,000 return? There's no market that has a return like that. So that is what was happening. Because if you think about it, during COVID, when the prices were on the incline or the increase, the average median benchmark price right now is what, about $650? People couldn't get a $650 fast enough. But so at the end of the day, you really have to look to say to yourself, what do I need to be able to move forward? This is not a market, just a challenge to see what you will get for your market. The statistics will show you what your home is worth in today's market, and information is everywhere. The buyers are very, very smart this day and age. They're doing a lot of research. They're not going in blind. Nobody wants to overpay. Because at the end of the day, we don't know where the market's going to be in the next year or two. Real estate has always been a long-term play. It has never been short-term up until just recently. So 2026, it'll be an interesting year. We're going to most likely see things to continue to settle. We will see interest rates most likely drop slightly. At the end of the day, if you need to make a move, at the end of the day, you need to make a move. You need somewhere to live. That is all we know at this point. So we have to look to say objectively, in today's market, what is this house worth? What am I willing to pay? And how long am I planning to hold this property? Because that'll indicate the amount of risk that you can take right now. So if you're planning to move in 2026, let's chat about it. Let's come up with a game plan and kind of go from there. You can give me a shout, 289-228-8468.